I'm Connor Northrup, and I'm joined by UFC lightweight Joe Solecki, who takes on Austin Hubbard at UFC's June 20th event. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, nothing. Just finished up sparring. One of my last hard sessions here. I got a couple more days, and then, like we were just talking about, we're off to Vegas after that. So
Yeah.
just putting the finishing touches on a long period of training.
The last time, too, I talked to you, you were kind of talking about how you wanted to get on one of these cards. I mean, at that point, I don't even think 249 was a set thing yet, but now that we're here, I guess, 5 events later, the 6th this upcoming weekend, I mean, what's it kind of feel like to be at this point and to kind of have that fight booked?
Yeah, it's a relief for sure because I don't think anybody knew what was going to happen in the world. You know, like Dana's famous line that he kept saying was, "Every day he wakes up, the world changed." You know, and it's still kind of like that. But just knowing that fights are back, knowing we all have our jobs and get to go to work is just a huge relief. You know, so right now while it's a grind and I'm getting ready to start my weight cut and all that, and still run down from a long camp,
Yeah.
it's easy to see that silver lining of the blessing that it is to be able to go out there and fight right now.
Yeah. Was there any part of you that wishes that your fight was like a little earlier, that you were on one of those earlier cards?
It didn't matter. I think more time to prepare was better. So I've been training like I had a fight coming for probably 12 weeks now.
Yeah.
And so a little longer is fine. A little less would have been fine. It really didn't matter. I'm just glad I had the fight.
Yeah, and like you said, almost like a 12-week fight camp. I mean, how do you feel like physically right now?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel good. I feel like I'm at the end of a camp for sure. I feel like I have every single fight camp I've done. So it just tells me that everything's right on track, which was obviously, everybody was learning how to train with what was going on and getting in the gym at certain times. And, we weren't able to get up to Gym O up in Gastonia, North Carolina, where we go a lot. But all that being said, I feel just as good as I have for all my other fights, if not better. I feel sharp. So maybe that little extra time was a blessing just to get used to, kind of structuring the camp a different way. And I got everything I needed to this camp. I was saying before is this definitely isn't a short notice fight. It's just a change. We both got our opponents, each other, 2 weeks out, but it's definitely not a short notice fight. I've had plenty of time to get ready.
Yeah. And I remember last time we talked too, you kind of mentioned that like at one point even like the cops like showed up because someone had called and said that you guys were like working out and stuff. And like, what's this kind of whole experience been like for you? I mean, are there any positives you can take from like just pushing through adversity?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we had the cops come. We weren't there. We had left by then.
Okay.
Because we're in like an industrial park, and one of the businesses, they were open, which is really funny because they were out working. But not now. Hey, we got the essential status. Pro athletes can practice now. So
There you
go. The joke's on them. But yeah, I mean, we learned how to sneak around a lot better. But no, the blessing for me is I got to be home a lot more this camp, which usually I'm on the go like 4 to 5 days a week, coming and going, staying in hotels, staying at my in-laws' house when I'm training in Myrtle Beach, and away from my family. And this is a good time where I was literally just training, going to the gym, coming home, resting, maybe reading, watching something, hanging out with my wife, my dogs, and then going back and training again, and rinse, repeat. It was really, really focused, and that's a blessing, where I got to spend a lot more time at home right before we have a baby on the way. So getting to spend time at home before life changes, it was good. So, yeah, I really can't complain. All my coaches did a great job. Even like Jeff Jimmo has been checking on me every single day. We're keeping the structure of how we want the camp. And even if I can't get to them, they're still running me through it. My other boxing coach, Chris Gallo, has been meeting with me, hitting pads in the garage. Now we're back in the gym, and we really didn't miss a beat. So it's been a blessing of just learning how to, suck it up and get the work done however it's got to get done.
Yeah. And I know we talked a little about this last time too, but like you just mentioned too, like, you have a baby on the way. And now that you do have that fight booked too, and I know our previous conversation, you had said that kind of felt like, more added motivation, for the fight. I mean, do you really feel that now that you're only, less than 2 weeks removed from the bout?
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's like, because for me, like I'm a nervous guy. I get nervous for fights. I think everybody does, but people just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But like it takes like a whole camp. I get excited, then I start getting a little nervous. Then you start getting like real nervous, And this, we got I knew I was training for a fight, but got the opponent 2 weeks out. And I was like, there's no time for that. Like I wrote something down on my phone as soon as I took the fight, and it got me real pumped up. So I'll share it. But it was like I wrote in 18 days of time, I'm gonna hug and kiss my wife and unborn child goodbye, and do the absolute most noble thing I can do: go to work. And that's what I'm telling myself is like, yeah, this isn't all the bells and whistles of having all my family and friends out there at the fight, having a crowd cheering your name, all that stuff. But there's a purpose behind it, and that's the most noble thing anybody can do right now. We're out. I think we see it in the fights that are going on. Is everybody's fighting their guts out because we almost had it taken away from us, So there really is no time to be worried. There's just time to be motivated, like stuff like that or whatever it is that's near and dear to you. So that's what's getting me through this and getting on that plane, leaving everybody I love behind, and just going with a couple teammates. And like I said, usually we roll in with like an army. This is like a stealth mission. We're like fast roping down, getting in, getting the heck out, and going home. So it's a fun way to mix things up. If every fight was the same, it'd get boring after a while.
Yeah. No, I think you brought up a great point too, because I mean, even if you just look at this last card too, UFC 250. I mean, there was 7 finishes out of 11 fights total, and UFC on ESPN 9 was like very similar too. There was a lot of finishes, so, and even the decisions are like very entertaining too.
Yeah, and none of them, even the finishes, have not been any mismatches. It's always been like good fights. No one's been like washed out or looked terrible. And I don't know if it's not having the crowd or just everybody had time to focus or whatever it was. It's just it's a good time to be a fighter. And you see people even coming off losses getting quick turnarounds. And I think it's a weird time because usually the sport's very merit based of like you're only as good as your last fight. And right now you're only as good as your attitude. Are you willing to fight? So it's a pretty crazy time.
Yeah. Do you think, like, just talking about like crazy times too, do you think this like benefited the American fighters too? Because like you said, a lot of those guys are kind of taking, turnaround fights, even if they're coming off losses too, like they're rebooking fights when a lot of these international guys weren't able to compete because, they couldn't get here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think it's giving guys opportunities to get quick turnarounds. It's giving guys on the regional level a chance to get called up on like 2 days notice.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I think we're going to look back on this time, no matter the outcomes of the fights, and kind of, when all this passes and life's good, we're going to look back and be like, that was a really interesting time in MMA. Especially with what's going on, guys are holding out for more money. Guys are hopping in and fighting in those slots. It's a really interesting time where I think a couple years from now will be very telling. The game's changing for sure.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about you too. I mean, you fought Matt Wyman on, in your UFC debut, a very, a big veteran of the game. And, now you're taking on a guy who's a little more younger in his UFC career, like you, Hubbard. I mean, how do you feel like, how do you feel about this matchup?
I think it's a great matchup. He's a really, really tough guy. I got a lot of respect for him. Watched all his UFC fights, a couple of the past fights before that. It's not similar to Wyman in the skill set, maybe. They do different things. They're built different. But in the mentality, right? He's not going anywhere. This is a hard-nosed dude who, I've seen him get cracked in fights. I've seen Dali Ramos put him in a choke and, on his face and crush him. He didn't even flinch. He's a tough guy. So this is a really good chance for me, I feel like, to test my skill set, my fight IQ, and get in there with somebody that's, we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to climb the ranks, right? Like, we're both in the 90s, I think, in the rankings, on Tapology. So for what it's worth. But, I think it's a great matchup, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to is getting in there with another young, hungry guy and kind of looking to best him out there.
Yeah. And in your Contender Series fight too, and also your UFC debut, it seemed like you were just like, the better guy on the ground too. I mean, do you feel like that's going to be a similar story this time around? Those fights, I think it was pretty certain we were going to end up grappling, at some point. This fight, I don't know. It really depends on where the fight goes. So, Austin's a good wrestler. He's good. He's got great anti-jiu-jitsu, it looks like, and some pretty good offense of his own. He traps arms, throws good ground and pound. So we're ready for that. I have great guys that I train with. I've been put in all the worst spots for the last 3 months. But yeah, I think if it hits the floor, I'm always going to bet on myself on the floor. Does it mean I'm going to submit him? I don't put all my eggs in one basket like that because some guys are just really good at staying out of stuff. Like Wyman, same thing. I wasn't hellbound on submitting him, but I knew I could really put him in a box on the ground. And same thing here. If we get on the ground, I know I can control. I know I'm going to be better than a lot of guys. And he'll leave openings for sure. But, again, this is one of those fights where he's very well-rounded, and I haven't really gotten a chance to show it, but I really do believe I'm very well-rounded. So I think we're going to have to test our mettle in every single department. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. And then another thing I want to talk about, too, I saw that you just signed with Iridium Management, too. I mean, congrats on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely excited to be with those guys, and just more good things happening. Very, very lucky and fortunate, and they've been great, man. Keeping in communication during the pandemic and keeping me posted on when they were looking at and trying to throw me in other fights that weren't even maybe offered directly to me, but just to one of their guys who couldn't take it. And just
Mhm.
keeping me in mind. So I really appreciate that just for me and my family of trying to get me opportunities. So yeah, very, very excited for the future with them.
Yeah. Is that what it kind of came down to too? Just like more opportunities? Is that why you decided to go with like a management company?
Yeah, yeah. So I had a really, really good manager. I really, really enjoyed and got me some great opportunities and no ill will or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was, it got me my biggest shot, and I'm so appreciative for him and what he did for me. And then it was just kind of time I feel like to grow, to really try and capitalize, especially with a baby on the way and a family to think about. So just looking to get out there, and I still got to get wins. I still got to do my job, but at least I know if I do my job, that these opportunities will be there. So I'm very excited for what the future has.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy too, because I mean, if you look at it too, I mean, a year from now, you weren't even in the UFC yet. The Contender Series was, I think that was in July for you. I mean, what's this last year been like too, to go from the Contender Series to go to your debut in December, and then a pandemic, and then now.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, man. It's been fantastic. Really, really, I just chalk it up to good luck and just just staying the course, and then my faith. My faith has driven me through all of it. And it's just been amazing, man. We're very, very fortunate and blessed, and just being able to go from absolutely nowhere, worrying where my next regional fight's going to be, to the Contender Series, which was just panic leading up to it because I know it's probably one of my only shots I'm going to get, and then getting the win, getting the UFC fight, getting a win over a veteran, like it doesn't get any better, So just excited for what the future holds, and just going to keep riding this wave. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, but it's just, I know, just to keep my head down and keep grinding it out, and good things will happen.
Does it feel like it's almost been a year, or has it kind of gone a lot faster than that?
It's going pretty fast. Yeah. Like I said, I've been on the go nonstop because, July we were in camp, and then, May, June, July. And then after that, Scott was getting ready to fight, Scott Holtzman. So he's up at Gym O, and he's another 55er. So I was going right back up there training. Then I went to his fight in Jersey just to watch in the crowd. Got back into camp for myself, and John Salter, my coach, was fighting. So a lot of buzz around the gym for that. And then I got the fight. Then I fought. I went back to Jersey, taught a couple seminars. Like, it was just nonstop on the go. So looking back, it almost doesn't feel like a year. Like, wow, that's been a year. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's how it's going to go, because this fall will be 5 years since I started fighting. It feels like I've been fighting a year. Like, I don't feel like a veteran or like this guy that's got all this experience under his belt. And it's flying. A career is like 10, 15 years at the most. I'm already a third of the way in. So it's just kind of wild when I think about it. But just trying to enjoy it as hard as it is, because it moves so fast. I'm just trying to remember that this is all going to end one day and relatively soon, So I just got to enjoy it.
Yeah. And before I let you go too, I noticed you got some fishing poles in the back. I mean, have you had a lot of time to fish?
Yeah, I've been trying to with the pandemic, because I'm, like I said, I'm always on the go. But now I'm at home. So now, if we're done a practice on a Saturday, we sparred hard, I'll go to the pond. I just bang fish, or every now and then we get out on John Salter's boat. We go out in the ocean, and that's awesome. That's a blast. We have a blast. We just so different, than freshwater fishing. You're just dropping your line and you're pulling up something crazy. You might get a shark. You don't even know. But I've been hitting a lot of freshwater fishing and just catching small bass. But I grew up fishing with my uncle up in New Jersey and my dad. So he had a small, like 15, 16-foot boat. And we'd go all over the place, lakes, Delaware River, all over. And I really missed it. This was like a good way during this to like stay relaxed, So I've been having a blast with that, and just getting out there, listening to some music, and 4 or 5 hours go by like nothing.
Yeah. Do you prefer saltwater fishing over freshwater fishing?
I love them both, but I think if I had to pick, I like freshwater fishing. It's almost like, it's not like fighting, nobody's punching you, but you gotta like pick and choose your spots, where you're casting, and like what bait. The color might not be right. It's a lot of thinking, and I like that stuff. Like, that's fun. It's like challenging,
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I mean, before I let you go, anything else?
No, I just hope everybody's staying safe out there. It's a crazy time in the world, and just really hope everybody's doing all right. And like, you're up in Jersey, everything's different everywhere right now with the pandemic, with just all kinds of things going on. So just really, really, really hope everybody's okay out there and everybody's good. And hopefully the fights are like a source of just like a little brightness in a really, really dark time right now. So hopefully we can shut everybody's brain off for a couple hours and let them just enjoy something, and maybe provide some hope. I always say fighting's a metaphor for life. So if we can go out there, maybe it just gives somebody a little hope to carry on and push through. So I just want to thank my team and all that, man. And just, hope everybody's good.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks a lot. Safe travels to Vegas, and I wish you the best. Thanks for the time.
Thanks so much, man. Take care.